us, which to me usually means ace deuce plus, or he has 3-6 or 6-8, or he has a set of kings or something that, I mean, he didn't even think about it. But I think this guy is not very good. Yeah. But I'm not going to raise here. I have no backup, and I don't want to put in $800 each on the turn and have no idea where I'm at. So I'm just going to call and hope a diamond peels off. And it doesn't. So I could easily be getting quartered here. If he checks, I might try and steal it, which he does. But I mean, the question is he going to fold a straight if I bet? Which I don't think he will. I don't think that my line looks like I have a full house. So I think that he either is going to quarter me and it's going to cost me money, and he could check raise me, which is exactly what happened. Or he has a straight and he's going to call me, so I'm not going to get him off his hand anyway. So I like my check back there. And he did. He flopped pretty good. He flopped to bottom 2 in the low draw. So if I had his hand, I would have played it differently, and I would have gotten more money in, and I would have made more money on the hand, and I would have fired full pot on the river with his hand. He has, even though that card counterfeited him, the king on the river, he still has kings and sevens, which is top 2 pair, and he has the nut low, and it doesn't look like I have much, so I would have bet the pot with his hand on the river and made me fold a weak high hand, or that beats his, or a lot of times he's quartering me there, which I just don't think that he knows that. So I'm going to go ahead and label 4 as not very good. He's clicking his buttons ahead of time to make his decisions where he's calling or not. And he's only betting the pot. I mean, just a lot of signs to me that to tell me he's not a very good player. And I've just got to know spots like that and people like that just from playing thousands and thousands of hands over the last 10 years. So that's just my read, and I usually like to trust my instincts. Here we have a gut shot, the nut flush draw, and a weak low draw. I'm not sure how I checked the flop, but I guess I wasn't paying attention. Because I would have bet this flop. I would have just led. Jack, 3-4 double suited. That's a good enough hand to open the cutoff with, or the button. And I would call a 3-bet from either one of these players in position. Don't really like it. The ace is out there. I mean, usually when players call your raise from the small blind, usually they have like a good ace wheel card type hand that's going to call here. I would almost just rather take the free one, so I'm going to do that. And hope to hit a deuce or a jack, or I'm going to try and take it right here, see what happens. And then if I bet the turn here with the blockers, I'm going to go ahead and have to bet the river too. That's kind of the line that I need to take. And he's called me a couple different times from the small blind, so he could be calling me wide and just being a loose player. I don't really know yet. Here's a very marginal two-way hand from the blinds, but it's $9 into 51, and I could win a big pot if I hit gin, which this is actually a pretty good flop. I've got the nut flush draw, and I've got third low draw and a gut shot. I'm not sure how to play it. So this guy limps the button again, so I usually note those guys as yellow because that's a bad play in my opinion. You should always be coming in for a raise if you're going to raise. I mean, if you're going to play a hand from the cutoff or the button and nobody else has called yet. So he just limps and then folds in position, which kind of confirms my weak passive type player. And he's also hitting the Z buttons in the chat box, so he's getting a little antsy over here. This is an interesting spot. I have to hit my hand to make a hand. So the question begins, do I raise, and obviously I'm going all in, or do I want to draw people in? Because if I hit my hand, if I hit my wheel or my flush, like, I mean, I want everybody in there, really. So I think calling is the best play there. And I don't think I have much fold equity when it's a raised pot and this guy's potting into 3 people. So I've hit a fortunate river. I've got a live 4 and the nut. So obviously I'm gonna bet because I want the live deuce to fold. So I want to bet like I have a wheel. So how much would I bet if I had a wheel, which would be somewhere around there, I guess. Maybe a little less. I think they're going to have a really tough time calling with anything other than a low and a flush or the wheel. So I think you should be, which I don't think anybody has a wheel. So, and they're not folding it anyway. So I think I like a bigger bet here to make, like let's say he has ace something with a live deuce, which could call here. Might not be the best call, but. So that's great. We took it down, and we might have had the best hand. Obviously, we had the best high hand, but even a live 4 might have been best. I'm not sure. Here, he checks the flop and checks the turn, so I'm just going to put out a bet and just hope to take it down, obviously. See what happens. And we did. We're just check folding on boards like this. When somebody raises and an ace comes out, and yeah, that's just an easy check fold. This is about the bottom of the range I opened the cut of the button with, somewhere in there. So 2, 3, 4 with 1 suited queen. This guy limps the button, which I don't like, so I'm going to note him as weak and passive until further notice, and then I can change the colors and see what happens from there. We turned the nut flush draw, but I still don't like betting here. It's a half the high only hand. It's only good for half the pot, so we also have 2 pair too, but I don't like it. And the bad player raises. I don't like this. Ace. No suited ace and an ace 6. No wheel card. It's just a fold. We made a full house. We're going to go ahead and bet and hope to get the low off their hands. And I doubt anybody has ace 9 or 9 aces, so I'm just going to bet. And he called me with a pretty... That's pretty light. He's got ace queen, and there's a flush out there. The board's paired, and he has a 3-8 low, which I'm not a fan of. But that's, I don't know. It's not that bad. The hand wasn't bet till the river, so a lot of times I could just be betting one of the hands that he gets half the pot with. So a small raise after a limper is usually ace deuce type hands. If they have aces, they usually pot it. And here we're just going to bet and go with this one. Obviously we still have the nuts, but this guy could have a lot of draws against us. And so obviously we're just going to, I mean, if this guy has a flush or full house, he's calling, so there's no point in betting anything. I like betting big here versus bad players and hoping to get paid off, basically. So he's already hitting his buttons. I could have bet $6 there and he would have folded. I don't like his decision making. I don't like his hitting the buttons ahead of time on what he's going to do. I'm not a fan. Just more actions that make me inclined to think this guy is a green player, a bad player. And don't want to get check raised off my hand here, so I'm just going to check back. This guy is usually betting I'm only getting half the pot here. Oh, he's only betting 15. This is usually a good bet by him because he's got a low and a flush. So this is probably a fold, but I don't know. Yeah, and he does. He's got the low and the flush. So here we have the second nut low and bottom pair, and we're calling in position. I don't like it. But I kind of underrep my hand by checking back the flop, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold. If he has ace-3 and anything, he can scoop us very easily. So, and he's betting the pot, so that's fine. Here we've got top 2 and a flush draw and a low draw. Horrible river card. Rings the backdoor club draw and a straight.